14 months ago, a man bought LA Lakers at a $10 billion valuation. Last month, he sold them at a $12.5 billion. The largest sports transaction in human history. Around 1,10,000 crore rupees. And just a week later, he put a stake in the famous Chelsea Football Club up for sale too. And nobody offloads trophies like that fast unless something underneath is on fire. The gentleman's name is Mark Walter. He runs Guggenheim Partners with over $300 billion in assets. He also owns the Dodgers. And here is the part that never makes it into the sports headlines. He also controls 2 American life insurance companies. So let me make this very simple, because the story only sounds a little bit complicated. An insurance company is essentially a pile of other people's money. Premiums collected from ordinary people parked for 20 or 30 or 40 years waiting for the day a claim comes due. The insurer has exactly one job: invest that money safely enough to keep the promise. Walter's insurers lent billions of dollars to other businesses that Walter controlled. Now that has a name: related party transaction. And it is not illegal. Companies with the same owner can lend to each other. But it must be disclosed. Because a regulator needs to know how much of a retiree's money is riding on the owner's other bets. And here is where it turns. His insurers had reported related party dealings of about $1.4 billion. And that is just a 3% of investment. That's boring and nothing material at all. And then comes the grand jury subpoenas. The companies went back through their own books. And they had to restate because of the subpoena. And what was the real number? Over $17 billion. That is at least 39% of the total invested assets, or Indian rupee terms about 1.5 lakh crore rupees. 2 out of every 5 rupees meant for American retirees were circulating inside the founder's own empire or his web of companies. And a large chunk of it has been classified as unaffiliated, where in reality it wasn't. And that's how you get from annuities to basketball. Because back in 2012, when Walter and his associates bought the Dodgers with Magic Johnson for more than $2 billion, insurance money went in alongside their own cash. And analysts have spent over a decade trying to untangle how that takeover was actually financed. A whistleblower raised concerns internally, and the Financial Times found at least $1 billion of client money invested in companies linked to senior executives. Some of it was flagged by Guggenheim's own compliance department for weak due diligence. The sport was the visible tip. The plumbing was underneath. Federal prosecutors and SEC are now investigating. The FBI seized his phone. One of his insurers has agreed to unwind up to $6.5 billion of related party investments. And to be absolutely fair, no charges have been filed. Walter and his holdings company deny any wrongdoing. But here is a line from that Financial Times piece that stayed with me. A law professor at the University of Texas said what made Walter unusual wasn't the business model. It was the non-disclosure. You see, private equity funds like KKR, Apollo, Brookfield, they've all bought insurers and lent it to their own debt. Private credit has quietly moved into a multi-trillion-dollar industry built on retirement savings. But this isn't a scandal about one billionaire. It may not be even a scandal. It is a stress test of whether the rules can even see the structure. Now bring it home, our own country, India, right? India's insurance industry sits on rupees 74 lakh crores of assets. LIC alone holds rupees 57 lakh crores, larger than the GDP of the most of the countries in the planet. This is the single biggest pool of patient household savings in India. Money nobody touches for 30 years, which makes it the most tempting money in the country. And we know exactly what happens when someone treats a pool like that as a private balance sheet. IL&FS, 91,000 crore rupees of debt across more than 300 subsidiaries. Money circling inside the group until nobody could find the bottom. And who was holding the paper? Any guesses? LIC. It is the largest shareholder. Provident funds, pension funds, not hedge funds. Then there is DHFL. The CBI booked it for rupees 35,000 crores. The agency alleged over 1.8 lakh non-existent retail loans. Loans recorded in what became known as the bankrupt books. Then there is our infamous Yes Bank. The bank subscribed to almost rupees 3,700 crore of DHFL debentures. At the same time, DHFL sanctioned rupees 600 crore loans to a company owned by the Yes Bank's founder family. The CBI called that a kickback. 2 transactions, 1 relationship. That is the entire grammar of related party deal. Then there is Sahara. Around rupees 24,000 crores was raised from nearly 3 crore small investors. And what did the group own? Grosvenor House in London, the Plaza in New York, the Pune Warriors sports team in India. These are all trophy assets bought by a group that had raised money from investors and depositors, primarily small. Sounds familiar? Now here is a twist. India actually thought about this. Our regulator caps an insurer's exposure to its own promoter group at 5% of investment assets. And investing in unlisted promoter group companies is completely barred. Walters Insurers restated at 39%. In India, that structure would be illegal on its face. But paper isn't the point, is it? IL&FS, DHFL, Yes Bank, all of them happened under the regulators who had rule book open in front of them. Rules only catch what they can see. Every one of those collapses was a disclosure failure long before it became a money failure and sometimes fraud. And this matters right now because since May this year, India allows 100% foreign ownership of insurance companies. Full control, automatic route, which means the same global private capital firms that built this playbook can now own an Indian insurer outright. The capital is absolutely welcome. India needs it. The only question is our disclosure good enough? Is it ready? Ready for owners who don't see reserves as a promise to a policyholder, but as a pile of money they can use to make more money by acquiring sports teams, for instance. Because that's how these stories always end, with someone selling a basketball team. If you found this research note useful, I would welcome you all and request you all to subscribe to our Instagram and YouTube page. We would come back with more such interesting information and research papers in the coming days. Thank you.